Welcome to JMarble Team Championship Season 2, B-League Event 4, Block Pushing. In this event, 2 marbles for each team. The captain and one of the 3 main members will push that block as far as they can, and their scores will be added together. Now, looking at the current standings, the Tidal Waves currently in the lead, but it's the Winged Stingers, Flying Squirrels, Orange Oranges, and Blooming Blossoms in the relegation zone, which means that they will not be in the Season 3 qualifiers if those positions stay. Now, we're fine for the Rainbow Refinery, the demo run. And that was a good push. I think they break the record. Test team breaking the record of all teams. But now Blossom for the Blooming Blossoms in dead last. And that's a decent push. 4.4375. That's not bad. But they need a better push next run to compete for a top spot. Now Daisy for the Blooming Blossoms. Can they do the same? No, they cannot. That is a really bad push. 3.3125, and that is 7.75. And sure, it's first, but out of 1. So, it doesn't matter. Naval for the Orange Oranges, their captain. Does not get a good push. 3.4375. Also not a good push. But now, how will, who's their other member? Tangerine do? Tangerine is off, and it's a 4.1875, and that's below the Blooming Blossoms. Also, an even worse score for the Orange Oranges. Now, Fly for the Flying Squirrels. Currently sitting in 10th, even after a bronze in the first event. That's a 4.3125 for Fly. But how will Squeak do? Squeak is about to roll down, and that's a 4.0625, and that is an 8.375 provisional first. Now, Wasp for the Winged Stingers. And the Winged Stingers are off. That is, that's a pretty good push of 4.5625. Wasp did go far with that block. Now, Honeybee, also for the Winged Stingers, of course. And they're off. And that is also past 4.3125 equals 8.875, and that is also first. Now, Tentacle for the Jellyfish. And that was a good run from the captain, 4.25. Not the best, but probably good enough to beat those first 2 teams who really need points. But now, Sting, the other member of the Jellyfish, they are off. And that is a 4.375, and 8.625 total puts them in second. However, Hidden for the Hidden Bishops going, and that is that's a far push, 4.75, close to making it to that 5 range. But now Surprise for the Hidden Bishops, once again their next member, and that is a very far push, a 5.5625 that breaks the record and will put them into first. Now Cactus for the Speedy Succulents, trying to follow up that run, 4.3125. And I don't think that that's going to be able to rival first, but, it could be a good finish. Now, Begonia. And that is a 4.375, and an 8.6875 is provisional third. Now, Orion for the Constellations. Heading off down the track, and that is, I think, just a 4. Yes, it is an exact 4. And then Cassiopeia for the Constellations. Once again, rolling down, and that is a 3.9375. And that is provisional 6th. Not the best for the Constellations. They might fall near the relegation zone. But now Grass, the captain of the Grasslands. Going down, and that is a far push. 4.75. And now I think their other member would be Dirt, also for, the Grasslands. And Dirt is about to get running now. And that is a very small push. 3.5. Puts them at an 8.25. And that will put them into 6th. Now, Magma for the Magma Meteors. Magma Meteors are going down, and that is a far push. 4.625 to be exact. I mean, not exactly exact, but And now Rock for the Magma Meteors. The other member. And that is a very far push. Also turned the block sideways at 5.4375. Added together is 10.0625, and that is second. Also would have won the main league. Now, Quartz for the Crystals. Taking a bit of time, but their captain will get a 4.3125. And that is a decent push. How will the other member do? Pearl, also for the Crystals, their other member. How will Pearl do? And that also appears to be a good push. 4.375, and that is a tie for 4th with 8.6875. Now, Tsunami for the tidal waves. I think leading the standings, and that is a 4.9375. A very good push. But now, let's see what their other member, Flood, does. Flood rolling down, and that is not a far push. A 3.625 puts them at 8.5625. And that means that the Hidden Bishops will win the event, followed by the Mega Meteors and Winged Stingers. Winged Stingers in the relegation zone will get some good points to catch up to the other teams, and they exit the relegation zone and push the Jellyfish down there. Also, Magma Meteors now take the lead in the standings, and Tidal Waves drop to 3rd. And that is it.